Yes, madam. Good morning to all the participants and good morning, Madam Anjali Bhatt, Madam. Uh,
Good morning.
thank you for your acceptance and giving us knowledge sharing related to our FDP program. Just I will introduce Madam Dr. Miss Anjali Bhatt, Madam is a manager from NCAM, Mighty Government of India. Madam is a program lead skilling and incubation and a founder of uh, Manimati, which is a personal finance blog. She has over 14 years of experience in consulting, finance, financial advisory, training, and research in the entrepreneurship and finance. She has worked as a consultant and a business mentor for the women startups under Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog. She has taught investment planning, gender budgeting, and business planning at the Administrative Staff College of India. She had an earlier worked as a consultant with UNDP and Price Waterhouse Coopers. She has a postgraduate diploma in management with a specialization in finance from the Xavier Institute of Management at Bhubaneswar. She is a gold medalist with a bachelor degree in chemistry. She is an NISM certified investment advisor. Thank you so much, madam, to be among us for giving on a topic for developing a business plan. Over
Yes.
to you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Padma, and thank you and welcome to all you participants. It is a good opportunity to be among you distinguished faculty. I have for long not been teaching, but anyway, this is a subject close to my heart. So I have prepared a presentation. I hope I will be able to discuss with you all and we can share some knowledge. I will try to make it simple and practical and interactive. So let me just share my screen. So are you all able to see?
Yes, madam, it is visible.
Okay. So when Madam told me developing a business plan, what interested me was the way the subtitle was given: format, content, and sequencing. So I want to start by mentioning a little point about sequencing. So when we develop our business plan, I'm used to it. So there's a natural flow, and I keep doing it. Then when Madam gave this topic, I thought, oh yes, there is a logical sequence to it, and I must take some 1 minute to explain it. So when we develop a business plan, how the chapters are sequenced is called the top-down approach. It is a typical approach which anybody takes before creating an object, whether it is a shilpi or a sculptor who's doing a sculpture. He makes the boundary, then the main contours, then he does the detailing. Similarly, when you build your resume, there will be a summary, which ma'am just read out. It is a summary. Then it will have other details of each job, responsibility, tenure, like this. So she just read the highlights. So that is called the top down approach. So when you do the top down approach, you will first start with the executive summary, then go on to give a snapshot about a company, then talk about the market and environment that this business is working in, then go in detail about what is the product or service, then talk about the marketing and sales plan to reach the customers, internal resource, human resource structure, and finally putting numbers to the business to show that whether it is demand driven and viable or not. So this is how it goes about. But here I also want to very shortly mention that when an entrepreneur actually starts developing a product, what comes first is he sees some problems in the society in and around him. He feels that that problem is worth taking up. He has the skills. Then he and his team develop and design the product. Then they make it into a functional prototype and they test it in the market. Once they feel, yeah, they all the tests and market research have passed, then they make it into a minimum viable product and try to test launch it in hyper, smaller market, local markets, and then they go full scale commercial. So before going full commercial scale is when a businessman will make a business plan. So the businessman actually makes the product from a bottom up approach, but he presents the business plan in a top down approach. And why does this happen? This happens because he has to give all the data from the beginning and validate that this is the environment, this is all is the potential, and this is what I'm going to target, and how much I'm going to money I'm going to make. So everything should be given layer upon layer to validate his business. That is why while presenting it is a top-down approach. So now coming to what is a business plan. So it is a blueprint of your business. So what is the product and service you want to offer in the market condition, and therefore what will be your business plan and your mission, vision and goals, and how you will achieve those goals using your product, marketing strategy, operational strategy and financial plan. So why do you need to make a business plan? First of all, you have to show it to yourself. As scientists, all of you all know, as teachers, all of you all know, any project should have a blueprint of action plan. So first of all, the entrepreneur has to satisfy himself or herself that it is the correct direction I am taking, and he or she has to build all the data into it. That is why. Second thing, of course, you need to present it to your investors. They could be your co-founders, they could be venture capitalists, or they could be bankers. Second important thing is this action plan or this business plan will help you identify early on the risk. That is, before you have gone full scale only, you will know to some extent some of the market risks that you will face. So you will also develop strategies to overcome them. It will also help you make a prediction about what are the headwinds, what are the positive factors for growth, the market trends, what are the negative factors, how your competitors are placed, what are your customers' requirement, and accordingly you will prioritize and or position yourself. And last but not the least, it will serve as a key resource input for developing your budgets. So as I've mentioned, this is all the contents and we will go over it one by one. So executive summary is in 4 or 5 paragraphs. You will write about introduction, background, what your company does, why it started doing it, the market potential, and end with saying that yes, it has the financial strength. So before you, when you write the executive summary, it is best to leave blank space. Once you fill in all the details, you can come back and fill the executive summary. And please remember, throughout this presentation, there's one thing that I will be, emphasizing. Wherever possible, it is always better to give infographics because images speak more powerfully than words. And all of you all understand it as engineers, as teachers. What you can draw and show them can easily go into the mind rather than text. So first, after your summary, you will write a snapshot of the company profile. It will be very brief. It will just have the name of the company, its mission statement, tagline, who are the, about us, in the about us section, who are the key leaders of the company, where it is located, what are the, markets it serves, and you can give names of 2 or 3 key customers you have serviced. So that also you can give like this in the business plan, like a infographic. This is how I have done it, like putting pictures so that in one go they know that, oh, this is how the company is growing, this is it is located, who is running the company, main people. Okay. So then the market analysis. After you give a snapshot of the company, you have to talk of the market environment. In this, you will talk about your target market, the size of the market, who are the customer segments and their needs, and you will also see who are your competitors. So for doing this market analysis, in the next few slides, we are going to see certain tools that we will use. They're very interesting tools. First of all, you will make a customer profile. When I say customer profile, people think, oh, she's just saying customer profile. This is all gyan that she's telling. But just imagine when you start making an infographic and go into the depth of what your customer needs, then you will see how important and how you can target your customer to benefit them. They are not bothered about what your company is or what your product is. They are bothered if that product helps them or not. So to know that, you should go into the detail. For example, for Manimati, for me, the women and women professional is my customer. So what is her name and age? What does she do? What are the types of jobs she does? How did she come to know about us? What are the current problems that she is facing? What does she want from me? And what pisses her off? What makes her feel what makes her feel bad, or what she dislikes? We have to avoid those things. And if there are she has come from other competitor who say ki they have just given me all the tools, but they didn't tell me which mutual fund to buy. So not giving customized support could be one area that is bugging her. So why will she buy from you? So you should be clear in your mind that you will bring the expertise, you will give her service, you will give her customized guidance, you will also give her support after she buys the product. So these kind of things. So in detail, you should do the profiling of your customer. You can do typical profiles, I had done for a single mother, divorcee, young working professional, or like 3 or 4 categories I had done, even entrepreneurs and housewives as a smaller category. Then perceptual map. This tool helps you depict and analyze how your target customer perceives your brand and that of your competitors. Again, we are using a pictorial representation. So I will give you an example. Typically, what are the attributes you will choose on the x-axis and y-axis? Typically, on the x-axis, it will be something related to the product, technology, feature, benefit. And on the y-axis, it will be typically the price, because India is a price-sensitive market. So here I've taken an example of footwear, athletic footwear. So if you see, they have taken high on fashion, low on performance, high on performance, low on fashion, that way, and then expensive and cheap. So if you see high on performance and high on price are obviously these American brands like Nike, Adidas, Reebok. They are even doing 3D printing of footwear nowadays. And a high on performance but low on price is something like Fila, something that, or even if you see Dr. Scholl's of Bata, it is high on performance and very expensive. Again, high on fashion, but highly expensive are, again, foreign brands like Skechers and Crocs. I think you've understood. So if it is like little low on fashion, but also low on price, it could be, local brands like Liberty, Golu. So you've understood. This is how you will make the quadrant. Another example I'm sharing from the industry that I'm currently working. I'm working in the National Center for Additive Manufacturing. So additive manufacturing, as per the American standards for materials and testing, ASTM, American Standards for Testing and Materials, has given 7 technologies. So now let us see how we can put them in the quadrant. What is the x-axis? The x-axis is the maturity of the technology, and the y-axis is the industrialization index. That means from prototype to widespread usage, how much. So if you want to see on the topmost quadrant, it will be most advanced in terms of TRL and most advanced in terms of manufacturing. So what are those technologies? These are typically the powder bed fusion technologies, whether you use laser beam or whether you use electronic beam, and wire electron deposition or direct energy deposition. So DED, PBF, all these are the better technologies now catching up for more of direct production. And what are the technologies which are medium in terms of maturity and medium, like little bit industrial usage? They're catching up. It is filament, fusion deposition machine, FDM it's called, or wired laser deposition, binder jetting. These are all the technologies. And which are the technologies which have not yet taken off? So it is typically, mold slurry, SLS, selective laser sintering, liquid metal printing, powder metallurgy. These have not yet taken off to the level that you can actually recommend somebody to go for manufacturing grade. So this is how you will do this kind of, and this needs to be done with a technology and a functional expert, this kind of diagram. So I want to also quickly tell all of you all are where this is a DST program. So TRL levels, if you are at ideation, you are at 0. If you have done basic research, you are at 1 and 2. If you have applied your research and made a prototype, you're 3, 4. If you are able to test your prototype in a smaller or lab environment or market, then you are 5 and 6. And if you are demonstrating it in a test market, then you are at 7. And when you are ready to go with technology transfer to the market, you are at 8 and 9. So this kind of assessment also needs to be done. Then Porter's 5 forces. This is also a very interesting, very simple tool. And I don't know whether you have already heard it or not, but jargon's nothing to be very, it is not complicated at all. So there are 5 forces which measure the level of threat and competition that you feel for your product. What are the new entry? Okay, threat of new entry. What is the buyer power? Means who's going to buy from you, how much power they have. Then what is the threat of substitutes? Suppose you are offering a smartwatch and somebody has come up with another smartwatch that has more features. Or they want to go for a phone only, which and they don't need a smartwatch. So a smartphone could be a substitute for a smartwatch. Then supplier power. Who will be your vendors who will give you the raw materials that you need to manufacture? So what we'll do, and your own competitors, how much strong they are. These are the 5 forces that you will check in your business environment, isn't it? So if you want to quickly analyze, you have to give plus and minus sign. If your level of competition is very strong, then it is unattractive for you, isn't it? If your competitors are weak and their products are not up to the mark, then it is a positive sign for you. You'll put plus. If entry barriers, that means who all can come as new competitors, newly entering market with new products, if that is high, entry barriers is high, then it is good now, because every day you will not see people coming. They will take at least 3-4 years to mature. By that time you would have gone ahead. So if the entry barriers are high, it is positive for you. If the power of suppliers is weak, it is positive for you. Then you have bargaining power. If power of customers is weak, it is positive for you. Then they'll not be able to negotiate. You can command your price. If threat of substitutes is less, that means people won't shift. Oh, this product is costly, I'm okay using my phone only. If threat of substitute is less, then it is positive for you. So I've done again Porter analysis for Tata Motors. It is coming, of course, now they also have launched an electric vehicle. So competitive rivalry, obviously it is very high. I mean, in the normal segment, there's already Maruti. Now Mahindra has come in electric vehicle also. So and if supply power is low, because Tata Motors is now a big brand and everybody wants to supply. All the auto ancillaries want to supply and get a name that they've applied. Once you supply to a big company like Tata, others also will buy from you. So supplies power is low, which is good. Buyer power is low. You can't go and bargain and say, hey, the car is 15 lakhs. Can you give it to me in 13 lakhs? You cannot do that. Threat of substitution is high because in certain segments, many new launches are coming in. And threat of new entries is also high because international companies also have come in. So this is what Porter's analysis will look for Tata Motors. Am I making sense? Because of my, big screen, I'm not able to see you all. Am I making sense?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay.
Very clear, madam.
Yeah, thank you. So the next analysis is a SWOT analysis, ma'am. And SWOT analysis is a very popular analysis. It can be used for individuals. It can be used for companies. And what is a SWOT analysis? You will see what are your strengths and weaknesses versus that of your competitors. So again, this is a relative tool only. So what are the questions you will ask in what are your strengths? What do you do better than others? What is the unique capability that you possess which others don't have? And how do others think that you are strong? And your weaknesses, of course, you should not expose it. This SWOT analysis is better kept only for yourself. You need not always show it to everybody. It's a self-analysis tool. So what are your weaknesses? What do your competitors do better than you? Can you improve certain features or your delivery time? What do others perceive as your weakness? You know, if you keep getting feedback, like for example, I can tell you one very small example. One of my competitors was going on giving every day news schedule, newsletter daily. Who will want to read daily newsletter? So then he understood from feedback that people want very short newsletter weekly and ideally monthly. So he reduced the frequency. So what you are your weaknesses? If you do an analysis through customer survey, and you can improve your offering. And what are the opportunities? So again, you will see what are the current trends which can affect you. Like for example, government's productivity linked incentive scheme, Atmanirbhar scheme, stopping import scheme. These are all actually opportunities, isn't it? Make in India is giving you incentive. That is a positive scheme if you are an indigenous manufacturer. So and in threats, you will see what are the trends that can negatively impact you. Suppose they have banned certain input imports, so your price, you are expecting price rise. Or your competitor is coming with a very disruptive model, like cloud came, then all these guys who were selling uh, hard disks and all that went out of business. So how deep are your pockets? You know, somebody asked the chat GPT founder, can we have a India chat GPT? And he very bluntly told no, because they've put in so many lakhs of dollars already and built this product. So if in India a small startup starts, he doesn't have deep pockets and resources to make it so open source and so wide usage in terms of ability and features, you know. So and you should also see how will these weaknesses impact your thing. Will they only dent your will they only dent your product, or will your product stop altogether? See, sometimes users like me, if I'm a financial advisor, I can use an AI tool. I may not be able to create a chat GPT, or I may not be able to create an AI tool for research, for example, or writer, but I may be able to use it. So it may not be so much affecting me as a user. So again, an example of a SWOT analysis. When LIC came up with its follow-on public offer, people started analyzing it. What are its strengths? It has a huge brand image. People identify it now. Large number of market agents. It still has the highest market share despite so many companies coming. And what are its weaknesses? Because it is such a big elephant, it's like a white elephant. They don't market well. If you go inside and ask their own people, they're saying there's so many products, so many variants, that we are only confused and they're overburdened with too much of work. So what are the opportunities? The opportunities are, there are so many cyber threats coming from these private companies, lot of controversies of data theft and online. So can they go online? They are a government of India undertaking. Can they make a very strong, stable and safe system? And more people are coming into the market, bread earners with more disposable income. And now government has made lot of tax incentive for us, for our elders to buy insurance. And they've also made that Arogyashri. Many government schemes are also there. So it is like a good policy environment for insurance companies. And threats, if government changes its policy and says that it is free open policy, all government employees need not buy from LIC only, something like that. Or more and more private competitors like MetLife, like Future Generally, like Tata, so many companies are there, you know, ICICI Lombard, HDFC Life. They are coming out with new features and targeting new customers. So these people are losing market share. So again, SWOT analysis I did for Flipkart. So it's the largest e-commerce company. It has brought inorganic growth and it has good market leadership in terms of its people. And opportunities are it's expanding outside India to Middle East also. Product categories have been diversified. What are its weaknesses? Limited distribution channel. It's facing lot of competition from Amazon especially. Threats are like Indian regulation for FDI, economic slowdown where people don't want to go online and buy, and Amazon has deep pockets. So these are all the threats also. Benefits of SWOT analysis, as I told you, it helps you weigh the pros and cons in a strategic way. And the more data you build into it, the better will be your analysis as how you can develop your strategy and find the gaps or niche to stay competitive. Okay. So, what do you have to do is from your SWOT analysis, you need to know what you have to, what you want to do. Suppose you want to build a new product, or you want to do pricing of your product, or you want to bring about a sales promotion campaign. What is your objective first that you identify? Then make a team and gather all the information and do the SWOT analysis, and you will get your answer. So, typically, what all data you need to fill is in terms of human resources, what is the size of their workforce, their presence geographically, how many dealers they have got, I mean your competitors. Financial information you can know from their balance sheet, what is profitability they're making, etc. Distribution channels, who are their sales partners, what is their business model, are they having exclusive outlets, are they going online, offline, are they doing it in tier 2 towns also? And in terms of operations, you see their website, you see what type of software they have, you can make out certain data from there. So I'll also tell in the end like when to use SWOT analysis. I'll be mentioning that. The other tool is a pest analysis. Pest analysis stands, you feel it's not actually a pest, it's important. And I have found out that for sectors which affect us, like a healthcare sector, it affects your health. Food sector, what you eat affects you, and the wealth management sector. These three sectors, though, which affect an individual, which individual's life, then you have to do a pest analysis because you need to know what is the external environment. Typically, these sectors will have lot of regulatory policies. So in our pest analysis, you see all the political factors, the economic factors, technology factors, and social factors, like how is the population responding, what are their attitudes. Everybody nowadays wants convenience products, home delivery, that is one of the trend. For example, everybody works on trust. So especially in finance sector, they will see how safe your website is, are you stealing data, those kind of things. So you have to analyze the pest properly. And pest also, when you analyze in technology, you have to see, for example, if you are building a smartwatch, you have to see what are the new trends coming up. In a smartwatch, it is now actually trying to give so many features about health, about making your phone calls, about setting alerts, about measuring your calories, so many things, how many steps you have walked, and it gives you alerts of have you taken water or not. So those kind of features are coming into the watch. So you have to compare that and see how you can place yourself if suppose you want to do a product like this. So any product which is technology based, you have to see the evolution of technology and where the future is going. Is it towards more of automation, more at the doorstep, more of convenience, more of safety? All that you have to see. Pest analysis has been further made into PESTLE analysis. The L and E is L is legislation or legal factors, and environmental factors. Why they have brought in? Because of this ESG rules, and so many nowadays government is saying that it should not pollute the environment, it should be sustainable, you should use green methods, and they are giving carbon credits and all that. And legal, I can tell for myself, if I have to be an investment advisor, for example, I have to have 5 years of experience in selling the portfolio products. I need to be certain age, I should have a certain net worth. Then I have to write an exam at 2 levels that is renewable after every 3 years. Then I have to apply to SEBI. Then only I can call myself as an investment advisor. So there are a lot of regulations when you make a food product or a medicine or a medical device. There are huge regulations that you have to adhere to the standards so that it doesn't harm the person and it is declared safe. So how is the SWOT and PEST interconnected? So your opportunities and threats, once you analyze the pest, you will come to know where your opportunities and threats lie. You know, recently I saw a newspaper article that said that there are only 5% of registered investment advisors in India. So there is deep opportunity for penetration, and even the areas where it is under penetrated was shown. So yes, though the legal norms for becoming an investment advisor is very stringent now, but if you can pass that, then you become a specialist, then you can go to the areas where others have not gone and give that kind of customized advice. Similarly with, you know, affordable implants, if you are stopping to import and you're trying to make a stent or a maxillofacial implant which is made of a material which is biodegradable, you have your patent and design, and you pass the standards, and you're doing what others are not doing, and you can make your good money out of it and in a safe way. So your opportunities also you can draw from your pest analysis and threats also. So when do you use pest analysis? You all have understood you need to test the political, the economic, regulatory environment. That is when you will use pest. And as I told you, it comes in three sectors, especially the financial services sector, the food manufacturing sector, and the healthcare sector, especially. Not to say that mobility is not there. I came across a startup who's trying to build certain safety features in the helmet with cameras which will help the person see the road. So he has to adhere to all the norms for safety for making the helmet. So it is there for most sectors that you should first see the regulatory rules. So SWOT analysis can be used for businesses, individuals. You know, you can do your SWOT analysis. Recently I had gone to my daughter's school. There was a parent teacher meeting, and they made her do the SWOT analysis and found out what are her areas. Like, she's a little introvert and she's not able to easily express her answers, though she knows. She's scared to ask questions. So these kind of weaknesses came up, you know. So SWOT analysis, even you all can do at an individual level. It is not that you should change your personality, but if you know your weakness, then at least you can prepare yourself to adequately guard yourself, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, madam. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. SWOT analysis for best practices. First is that you build more data. For building more data and to be unbiased, make a team of diverse experts, which will have technology, finance, business, operation experts, and use a simple and straightforward format and keep the objective in mind. Then your SWOT analysis will be useful for you. Now we will come to the competitor profiling. So we will see typically what is the sales they made, where they're active. For example, Tata Motor is more active in the west, Maruti is more active in the north, Mahindra and Daimler and Ashok Leyland is more active in the south, isn't it? So you know the sales, you know the market, you know the type of customer segment, passenger cars, trucks, electric vehicle, that way. Then you know the strategies they're using. Most of them use dealers, then they use dealer discounts. Some of them also come up with a road show, all those things. So what strategies they're using, who are their suppliers, who are their partners, if you can just make that kind of a map for all your customers or most of your major customers, not, I mean, most of your major competitors, not everybody. And then you can make a competitive intelligence mind map. This is nothing complicated. You've seen in police station, na, they make the they draw, if the suppose a culprit is at large, so they will call every person whom they have links with, they will make they'll draw the image, then they will see where his they'll make a map and show where all he traveled, where was his last mobile with. So that way, I'm not trying to say that competitors are criminals, but if you're stalking them literally, there was a very interesting episode when one of the CEOs was asked that how did he double his sales revenue in the last 3 years. He said, I was quietly following my competitor and I just saw every day what he did and I did just that. I mean, it works. So if you are able to stalk your competitor and make a mind map, where is their website? Where and all they did the promotional activity? Where did they sell more cars? And all the news data what you gather from secondary and primary research, if you can put it, then you will get answers to where all they are not doing that you can do, isn't it? So another easy tool to compare and contrast is uh, um, with your competitor is what are the similarities, what are the not present. You can do that. So I took this from Amazon. It's a very good tool actually. In Amazon, if you go and try to buy one product, it will itself suggest you other similar products, and when you go and press that similar product, it will also give you a comparison. See, if you see in the comparison, first of all, the features are compared, then the customer rating is compared, then price is compared, how soon they can ship to you, it is compared, who and all are the suppliers who can sell to you, it's compared. So these are all the parameters where you need to stand. You'll come to know that you need to get more customer feedback, you should be priced properly. And because these are the filters that customers use. If they use a filter that I want only 4+ rating and you didn't get a 4+ rating, even your brand won't show up. So these are the ways in which you can analyze your product with respect to competitor. Then competitor price analysis. So once you know about the price, suppose of 2 or 3 brands, then what do? If that brand is too costly but he's not selling much, then you ignore him. Okay, he may be like only a few sales are there and they are not. For example, typically MNC brands, they come. I mean, I saw Tommy Hilfiger T-shirt for 3,000. Why will anyone buy that, for God's sake? So if they are too costly and they are weak, ignore them. If they're too costly and they are equal to you, then you also try to match your price. And if they're too costly and they're stronger than you, then you try to undercut, right? These are the strategies. And when you have to attack and when you have to defend and when you have to accommodate, this is one very simple strategy to do your pricing. Okay, when do you need to do competitor analysis? Obviously, when you're entering the market with a new product, or you already have made your product, but you want to give special pricing strategy, or you want to understand what new marketing strategy you should do to attract customers, or you want to develop a particular sales campaign like Amazon does, Big India Sale, something like that. And last but not the least, if you want to see who and all with whom you can collaborate to grow your business inorganically or to grow to new markets. Okay. So common mistakes that you should avoid. Obviously, this whole exercise is not only about competition. You should also have your internal dynamics in place. You should prioritize the key factors. So you will be concentrating on your technology, then you will be concentrating on your marketing, and you will be concentrating on your delivery time. So these factors, what are the main factors? Accordingly, you will develop your action plan. Also, it's always important that you do keyword search for your competitor to see if they come in the top ranking or not. Okay. You should also do, now there are a lot of AI tools. I did not get the time. Maybe some other day I can share with Dr. Padma. Lot of AI tools are there which give industry report, industry trends. Please use that to the advantage so that you come to know and you stay ahead of the times. Now, the section is when you want to describe about your company's product and service. So again, I'm telling that you use a product and service mind map or a canvas. In the canvas, you will do what is this product made for? What is its name? To whom you will sell it? What all that person will feel when you sell it? What are the features and details? All this you add and you'll see how satisfied you feel if you use this metric. I am using an example where a person has started a dance studio. So he or she has made different avatars of people who will use the dance steps, how they will use the dance floor, how they will bring other communities, how they will come with different competition, fancy dress. All that he has envisaged, and then he has also taken like what kind of action that he has to take, organize more events, make the person interactive with new steps. These are all the action that he has written. So it's a very satisfying exercise of self evaluating your product. The more you write and draw and talk about it, the more you will realize how effective your product is. So value proposition canvas, this also is a very easy but important tool. How you're going to deliver value to your customer? Are you solving their problems? Are they remembering and buying from you again and again? So how do you know that? So you will have in your product, you will say there are certain features and these are the benefits, and this is where you can buy from. So this is what you're going to tell them. So in the back of your mind, you should know whether those benefits are functional, emotional, life changing, or they have a social impact. Like, for example, Isha's Guru Jagi Go Vasudeva, when you go to his camp, it gives you self actualization, it gives you me time. You're able to understand and realize calmness and spirituality. Some others could be life changing, like they take you to a camp where they help you realize your potential. HR camps, so motivational. And emotional, like there are certain loyalty rewards you get, like Tanishq says that you bought so many from us, now you will give you a reward of a 10% discount. So they're giving you emotional thing, and they're giving you attractive thing. Functional, typically many products are functional. Either you save time, or you are organizing information in one place, you're reducing risk, you're reducing cost, you're bringing more quality. All this is typically any product that you sell will have some functionality. It can't be only emotional. So these are the parameters on which you build value to your customers. Okay, then we go to understanding your marketing and sales strategy. So in marketing, you have to keep only 4 P's in mind: product, price, place, and promotion. What is your product? What is the price at which you're doing it? Place means where you're selling it. Promotion means how you're promoting the product. Are you giving it as a featured product in the physical place? Are you giving it a good display unit? So, and then tied to your promotion is your sales campaign. Every week, what is your budget? How many people you have identified who will do the sales campaign? What is the frequency in which you will through, and what is the media or the channels through which you will promote your product? What is the positioning? Like, is it a, you will do it that it is a safety object, or you will say that it is highly fashionable? Tanish comes up with ads, for example, you have seen. I've seen some other shampoo saying it is specially made for you because it cares for you, something like that. So all that are your sales strategies. How you are playing and creating impact on the mind, and where and all you will do advertising, which are the mediums that you will use, that will be part of your sales plan. So you will write that down. Once you know that, and you know the level at which you can do your manufacturing and your sales, then you will understand how many people you need. So you should also have your organization chart. It will show who are all the person you will recruit, what are their functional skills, and what is their designations. So typically, believe me, people who come with initial strong teams are the ones who can execute their ideas much better than others. I am telling this as a startup who has suffered. So if you are coming with a person who already understands the technology, the marketing and operations, then he can hire the other people, whatever they are. If the leader is good, then they are able to execute better in the market. Okay. Then the next is the financial plan. Financial plan, I think I'll, till now you tell me how you all felt. Financial plan is the next part. It will take at least 20-25 minutes for me.
It's good, madam. We are able to understand. Yes, we are able to understand. Dear participants, any queries? Any queries from the participant side? If no queries, we'll continue.
Okay.
We'll
So
continue, ma'am.
financial, yeah, thank you, ma'am. So financial plan has like again three portion. First is before you start your business, what are all the expenses that you need to calculate? We can also call that the project cost. In the project cost, it will also have initial installation cost, pre-operative expenses, license expenses, patent expenses, and the project cost. That we will do that first. Then after that, we need to understand for operating your company, you will take a office, no? So you will have an office, you will hire some office staff for managing operations, and you will hire some sales staff for doing the selling. So for that, you will have to pay rent, you will have to pay salaries, you will have to pay the power bill, you will have to pay the insurance bill. And if it is rented, means no property tax, but you will have to pay GST and all those things. So operational expenses will be there that you need to calculate. And at the third level, you have to come out with the financial statements. So faculty, there is nothing to worry. These are now all automated tools. You have special expertise who will do this on the Excel sheet for you. But I'm just going to explain to you the logic for that. So you should know once first thing you will do when in your financial statement is that you will estimate the demand, that is how much revenue you can earn first year, then growth factor for second year, then growth factor for third year. You will project it. So you got your sales figures. From your sales figures, when you subtract your cost of goods manufactured and your operating expenses, that means you take out all your expenses. What is remaining is your profit. So you will get your profit and loss account. Then you will get your balance sheet. Balance sheet will have all your assets and your liabilities. How you bought the asset is from your liabilities and your net worth. So you'll have your balance sheet, and then you will have your cash flow statement. So I will give you very small examples of what each of this is. So there are automated Excel sheets. If you want, I can share that also. But before we go to that, let us understand in simple way what are the terminologies from where you derive these figures. If you understand that, then anyone, if they make the Excel for you, you will understand it and come to know that you're on the right track. So what happens is from the sales, you have to first take out the cost of goods sold. Okay. So what is it? Again, let me give you an example. Suppose the selling price for a smartwatch is 1500 rupees. Okay. Now to manufacture that watch, what all is needed? Typically, three important things are needed, isn't it? The raw material, the labor, and the power charges. So suppose the material like sensors, chip and all, suppose it costs 200 rupees. This is I'm saying for 1 unit. 200 rupees. Labor, he will, everything is automated, but labor is doing the packaging. So labor for including packaging is 100 rupees. And power charges, because it's a very high machine, I have taken 200 rupees. So 500 rupees is your cost of goods sold. Okay. When you remove your cost of goods sold from your selling price, you get the gross profit. That means you are still at the manufacturing level. What is your gross profit? It is at manufacturing level. So what is your gross profit? 1500 minus 500, 1000. Did you all understand? Gross profit is at 1000. This is still at manufacturing level. Okay. Yes or no? Understood?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now from that, what all you have to subtract? Now it comes to the sales office from where you will sell it to your, retail outlet. It comes to the retail outlet or your warehouse if it's a B2B, from where you will sell. Then what all you will give? All your office expenses, which are also called operating expenses, will come. Rent, power charge for that office, sales and office staff, any insurance, and if you have taken loan means interest charges. So again, I have computed that 100, 200, I have made it around 500 rupees. So your operating expenses is another 500 rupees. So from your gross profit, you remove your operating expenses and you get your operating income. So 1000 minus 500 is 500. So 500 from here, if you take out tax, you get your net income. So forget it is taxes now. 500 rupees is your profit before tax. Understood? So at what percent it is of the sales? Means 500 rupees on every 1,500. That means 33% you are making profit, isn't it? Before tax. Did you understand?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
So, yes. So, cost of goods sold, all the manufacturing related costs, no, will be your cost of goods sold. And all the operating and sales costs, no, will be your OPEX or operating costs. Okay. So, once you understood this concept, we can go ahead. I will not confuse you further. I have explained to you with the example. Now, next very important but very easy to understand concept is fixed cost and variable cost. What is fixed cost? Whatever you're producing or you're not producing, you have to keep on giving the charges. Suppose you have bought a sales office. You have to pay rent, isn't it? You have to pay your office boy, you have to pay your sales guy, you have to pay your accountant, you have to pay the rent and the power bill, isn't it? So all that I'm calculating. This is a little bit of a different example. I'm calculating it. On a monthly basis, I'm calculating that I am paying 10,000, 10,000. So it is coming 15,000. Okay. 10,000 plus salaries, plus all that is coming 15,000. So every month I'm paying 15,000 to run that office. Yes or no? Month 1, month 2, all every month from first month to 12th month, I'm paying 15,000 rupees, which is my rent, my power bill, my salaries. Okay. Now coming to your factory. In your factory, if you're manufacturing 300 watches, then if you're paying 15,000, then it comes to 15,000 divided by 300. Only 50 rupees you're paying per unit, your fixed cost. Okay. But if you're manufacturing 400 watches, then this 15,000 is being divided by 400. Your fixed cost is coming down. It comes down to 37 rupees. If you're increasing your productivity to 500 watches, then only 30 rupees is coming fixed cost per unit. So as your productivity increases, with this same fixed cost, I'm assuming that the manpower and all is same only, your fixed cost is reducing like anything, which is called economies of scale. So how does a fixed cost behave? Fixed cost will be, total fixed cost will be equal for every month. But per unit fixed cost will reduce when your production increases. Did you understand this?
Yes,
Did you
madam.
understand this? Yes. Okay. Okay, now we go to the variable cost. Now, variable cost always varies with your production. That means it has to be directly related to production. That means it has to be your cost of goods sold. So what is it? It is your material, your labor, your power. I'm making it very simple. Remember in that watch example, we had told 200 rupees, 100 rupees, 200, total 500 rupees is your direct cost of goods sold. So that becomes your variable cost per unit. Your variable cost per unit will be the same, whether it is month 1, month 2, month 3. But if you are manufacturing more units, more of it will be consumed, isn't it? More power will be consumed, more materials will be consumed, more laborers you will employ. So you will keep multiplying. So if you see first month it is coming 1,50,000, second month it is coming 2 lakhs, third month it is coming 2,50,000. So variable cost per unit is always same, but variable cost of total variable cost keeps increasing as your productivity increases. Did you understand that?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So now why we are doing all this is that we need to do a small break-even analysis. I have hidden the answers. So I want you all to calculate. What is break-even? Break-even is the quantity of units that you have to sell wherein you will be able to cover all your fixed cost. So hint I'm giving is your fixed cost you have to see for per annum. Annually only you will calculate your break even. You need not calculate your break even on a monthly basis because there will be so many seasonalities, no? So this is the formula: fixed cost divided by sales price per unit minus variable price. So my sales price that is selling price per unit was 1500 rupees, variable price per unit was 500 rupees, and we calculated no, our fixed cost was 15,000 per month. Now you calculate and tell me what is the break even quantity. I won't be able to see this chat box and all, so you all only have to announce the numbers. Don't put on chat, please announce the numbers and tell me. First is, how do you find the break even quantity? Please calculate the break even quantity and tell me. Then you can do the break even price. Break even in rupees don't do. First you do break even quantity. For doing break even quantity, you have to do divide the total fixed cost divided by sales price minus variable price. So can somebody quickly tell me what is the BEQ, break even quantity?
$180.
Correct. 180 is the answer. Now, to find break even in rupees, there's a very easy formula. One of the formulas you can use is sales minus variable cost divided by sales. You will get the contribution margin. That contribution margin, you have to divide that fixed cost divided by contribution margin. That way also you can do. But there's another one very easy way. You know what is that easy way? You multiply the break even quantity with the selling price, you will get the break even in rupees. So now I have told you the easy way. Can you tell me how much it is? Break even quantity into selling.
2,70,000.
Absolutely, 2,70,000. So why this important? No, this figure is, as a businessman, if you know that you have either sold 180 units or you have made 2,70,000, then you are covering your fixed cost and you need not worry so much. You will be able to sustain your business. You understood why this is important? Otherwise, what happens? No, if you unless and until you sell, you will not be able to pay your rent and your salaries. You will be worried about that, no? So minimum you have to sell 180 units. Over and above 180 units, whatever you sell, you will be making good profits. So that figure that the businessman should have in mind, what is the bare minimum quantity he or she should sell so that he or she can cover all the fixed obligations. Once his fixed obligation for the year he finishes, the quicker he finishes. If you are able to sell, say, 180 quantity, say in 6 months only, then the next 6 months, whatever you are producing and selling, it is all your profit. So that is the reason why break-even analysis is done. Okay. So steps to make the financial plan, as I told, first you will forecast your sales per day, you will forecast, then per month, then per year, and you will do a logic for doing the projection, either inflation or market, customer, competitor market, say you will do the growth. Then you will calculate operating expenses, then profit and loss, then balance sheet, and lastly, you will calculate your project cost. Okay. So again, I'm giving you an example. This is my own business I had done initially, So year 100 participants will take my training course. So I'm selling my training course for 3,500 rupees. So this is my revenue from training. I will sell 200 books. I'm charging 500 for each book that I sell. So this is what I'll make from books. And again, 100 customers are coming. That is yearly. Customers are coming for me saying that, madam, please make our financial plan. So this is my financial counseling revenue. Okay. So yearly revenue I got as 7 lakhs. Okay. So now from year two, 120 participants I'll be able to target bolke I'm saying, so I've taken a 20% increase. I know that logically, from the rate at which others are growing, very conservatively I've calculated that I can get 120 participants. Books, of course, I know that more and more people are not buying, they're more interested in live training, so I've kept books as same. And investors also, again, who will come to me for advisory, are also I've kept it same. So like this, I can project for year 2, and like that, I can project for year 3. I've projected 8 times more participants for training because I saw in the 6 months what was my growth. I've extrapolated it. This is just an example. In reality, it may not be true. In reality, my financial counseling, more and more people may be coming, and little less people may be coming for training. This is just a logic in which way I am able to extrapolate my sales figure year after year. Okay. This chart you have to see only to understand how I grew from 7 lakhs to 35 lakhs to 97 lakhs. Okay. Next chart we have to see. Now the next question that comes in your mind is, how do I calculate the expenses? Because all this, you have not started your business. Let me tell you, these are projections. Before you start your business, you're projecting, estimating, analyzing it. So you came to understand how you made your revenue projection. Now you will understand how you're going to make your expenses projection. For example, employee expense, operating expense, marketing and sales expense. So again, we are going to use industry norms. Generally, for financial services industry, 30% of the expenses is for employee, 10% is operating, 5% is for marketing. So that norm, that standard I'm using and I'm estimating. So now you tell me in year 1, if I have 7 lakhs as my revenue, all this is as a percentage of sales. Okay. So you tell me what will be my employee expense. Only for 1 year we'll do. If you understand for 1 year, you will obviously do it for year 1. Year 2.
Some cells are dark, madam. We are unable to see.
No, don't see the dark cells.
Madam.
Answer. They are the answers. I am asking you a specific question. Employee expense for year 1 will be how much? The hint is it is 30% of sales. Don't see the dark cells, just see the sales value and tell me.
Yeah.
So 30% of 7 lakhs will be 2 lakh 10,000, isn't it?
2,10,000.
No?
Yes.
Next is operating expenses. Okay, operating expenses is only 10%. So tell me, how much is 10% of 7 lakhs?
70,000.
70,000. Marketing expense only 5% of that is easy ways, half of your OPEX.
Yes.
So 35,000, isn't it? Like this you will do for next year. I have deliberately made it dark. Professor, I wanted to share an incident that happened with me when I was an early assistant professor at Equine Business School, Ahmedabad. So I was giving them exam, and it was the first exam. I was very nervous. So I distributed the question paper, and I had the answer sheet for discussion. While distributing, to the last candidate, I gave with the answer sheet. And he copied all the answers, and there was some very tricky question, and he copied it word to word, and I caught him, of course. So that is why this time I'm very careful. I have darkened the cells. I mean, I know all of you are professors, so you all know better. It is nothing great. So I just wanted you to understand the logic of how to calculate the expense and how, I have found out from the industry standards. Okay, does it make sense?
Yes.
So
yes.
now you know that if you start business, how you can calculate your sales figure. You also know how you can calculate your expense figure. Now, the most easy, first they will ask, what is your profitability margin? NPM, they will put a big terminology NPM. NPM is nothing, net profit margin. How much net profit you have made divided by your total sales. Can you tell me how much it comes to? Okay, it is coming to 0.55. That means 55% margin I'm making. Okay. I'll share this files to you. You can calculate it. 0.55 only it is coming. If you add up, you have to add everything. The net profit figure is given, no? 3,85,000, you just divide by 70,000. I think it's coming to 0.55. That means 55% is my net profit margin. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Okay. I will not talk about capex, opex. Okay. One another concept I want to introduce. OPEX, you've understood operating cost. CAPEX, what is CAPEX? CAPEX is capital expenditure. Remember in the beginning I told you, for starting the project, how much money we need to put. Why we need that money? We want to buy the land, we will construct building, we will buy machinery, and we will take patenting and all that. So that is CAPEX cost. Initial project cost, which is a one-time purchase, that is called CAPEX. Understood? Why is CAPEX important? Now see this example. CAPEX is important for you to estimate your project cost. Whenever you go to any banker, first question he'll ask, how much is the project value? That means how much you estimated your project cost. Then if you don't want to, if you're not buying any land, if you're not constructing any building, but you have a software and you will buy some office furniture and you will need some laptop, all that you can put, and it comes, I have made an estimate, including my working capital margin. If my working capital is say 1 lakh, then I have to keep at least 1/4 of it as margin. So 25,000 like this I have calculated. So if somebody asks you what is your project cost, in this case it is 13.75 lakhs. Okay. Now coming to that, if 13.75 is the cost, how will you fund it? What is the route of funding? Funding is only two routes. One is you put your own money, which is equity. The other is money from loans, which either a banker will give. If government gives seed fund, then it is subsidy. So suppose in this case, suppose we are taking a bank fund, suppose. So if you are investing 2,50,000, then you are asking bank to give you a loan of 11.25 lakhs. So that makes it a total of 13.75. Now the banker will say, okay, I'm giving you 11.25. How and all you are going to use it? So you are going to put all the uses, the laptop, working capital, including your margin, office furniture, financial planning software, initial marketing expenses, all that you can calculate, and you'll say, this is how I'm going to use the money for. Did you understand?
Got it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Again, one small question for you all. In financial ratios, two ratios are very important: debt service coverage ratio and the debt to equity ratio. If I have invested, this is a separate example, don't be confused. I have put 5 lakh equity and I'm getting a term loan of 8,75,000. So what is my debt to equity ratio? I have hidden it in white text box. Can you just do? Debt means term loan. Any loan is called debt. So what is the debt to equity ratio? Can you calculate and tell me?
Total debt by total shares, I think.
Yeah, shares. Total shares is 5 lakh, no? So you have, and total debt is 8,75,000. So you have to do 8,75,000 by 5 lakhs. So can you tell me how much it comes to? I'm not sure. Even I am going to calculate. Tell me quickly.
1.75.
Yes, yes, yes. That is correct. Yes, 1.75 is the answer. Now, all these ratios madam is telling, but she is not telling one important information. You will tell me. These all liquidity ratios and all, we'll keep it aside for the time being. I've just put it. Mainly banks will see what is your debt to equity ratio. If it is less than 2:1 ratio, no. In our case, it is less than 2:1, no. That is, if your debt shouldn't exceed more than 2 times your equity, it is not double, no. It's coming only 1.75. It is, if a ratio is exceeding 2, then it is little dangerous for bankers. They will ask for more collateral. If it is any value less than 2, then it will be accepted. Similarly, what is your debt service coverage ratio? Whatever net profit you're making, no, is your EMI is going to cover that or not? We need to know that. Okay. So all your total interest, that is your EMI divided by your net income, that ratio is your debt service coverage ratio. Again, you know, if your EMI is less and your net income is more, and your debt service coverage ratio becomes greater than 1, you know, it is, I'm sorry to say, it is the other way around. Your net profit divided by EMI, if that comes greater than 1, it is good. That means your income is more than your EMI. Okay. If you're showing your income is every month, your net profit or your net income is more than your interest, then it is a good business. So these are the only 2 ratios bankers will, ask. All these other ratios only for academic interest. I have put it. I'm not going to explain it. Coming to my last few slides, how do you judge the techno-commercial feasibility? This was also a big terminology being used and I used to get very daunted. So I want to make it easy for you all. Techno-commercial feasibility is, as the word implies, it has 2 aspects. You will check on the technical feasibility, and then you will test on the commercial feasibility. So typically you will have in your team an engineer, if it is like an engineer who knows your technology. Suppose additive manufacturing technology, you as a CEO or your application engineer, both of you will sit together. And I showed you that chart now, where it shows the technology index and the industrialization index. If it is good on both and your TRL level is, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, anything. If you're more than, if you have reached 6, 7 means it's quite okay. So if your TRL level is good and you are gauging that your technology is mature, then your project will get green tick for technology. Now we will come to the commercial feasibility. Okay, now commercial feasibility, we will see the market demand, how much you can sell, what is the cost, will you be able to cover the costs? Like we showed you, capex and opex, break even point, how much, how soon you will come to break even. Suppose you have put, generally typically these machines for additive manufacturing are very costly. So 60 lakhs ka machine. But imagine if he's making 10 lakhs per month, if he's making 10 lakhs per month, then within the first year only is recovering the cost of the machine, isn't it? So that way you will see the financial projections, the cost, how he is covering his OPEX and CAPEX. That way you will come to know about the commercial feasibility. Then what these consultants do? They do a sensitivity analysis. They will just do, like, suppose you reduce your price by 10%, how it will affect your profitability. If you increase your price by 10%, like this, on various parameters, they will check, if your unit sold, volume of sales pay, they will do. Then on a price point, they will do. Typically on volume and sales only. Volume of sales and price only, they will do the sensitivity analysis, because these are where your growth gets affected, no? And they'll see how your growth is getting affected. So you will get 3 scenarios. Your estimated scenario is the normal scenario, and optimistic scenario if you make more, pessimistic scenario if you make less, so that you will know whether you are able to cover your costs or not. It's called sensitivity analysis. So these are the references. I have taken this. I also have a file where the entire Excel sheet is there. If you all say yes, I can share that with you. Nowadays, there are a lot of AI tools, as I told. There is also a company called finline.in, wherein by paying a few hundreds, you can get your DPR made. Okay. So that's it. That's it from my side.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam, for your wonderful session. Any questions from the participants? Any questions, please? If no questions, it was a really very good, clear information related to this business development plan, madam. And actually, you have made us to do some problems also, practically do mathematically how to analyze and get how the product can be commercialized, and what are its feasibilities. And really very much appreciable, madam, spending your valuable time with us, giving lot of insights into this business development plan. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you. All the
Thank you.
professors for listening in and for liking my session and hearing patiently and doing those simple maths. Nothing tough, but I just wanted to make you all understand the concept. That's all. Tomorrow, if you go to the bank, they won't be able to cheat you. That is my purpose. Okay.
Yes, madam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Okay.
Right.
I take your leave.
Yes, madam. Thank you. So, my dear participants, we will join back in the afternoon session, as the morning session we have done with. Please join at 12:50, 2 sessions in the afternoon. Thank you all.